Good evening. Great Britain is in a state of profound shock. What we witnessed today in the heart of our democracy, on the floor of the House of Commons, was not merely a political event. It was a shattering of precedent, a moment that will be dissected and debated for generations. The sitting Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, was forcibly removed from Parliament on live television.
Let's not mince words, Sophie. He wasn't just removed, he was physically thrown out. Security, the sergeant at the arms men, were ordered to escort the leader of our country from the chamber as if he were a common heckler in the public gallery. We are talking about a complete and utter constitutional meltdown, a collapse of authority, decorum, and control in front of the entire world. It wasn't just the Prime Minister who fell today, it was the very prestige of Great Britain itself.
And the day began with a terrifying sense of normality. A routine Wednesday in Westminster, Prime Minister's questions scheduled for midday. The chamber was packed to the rafters, the green benches overflowing, cameras rolling, the nation watching. Nobody, and I mean nobody, could have possibly anticipated they were about to witness the single most shocking moment in modern parliamentary history.
Routine is the word, Sophie, and that's what makes it so chilling. At precisely 12:15, Nigel Farage rose to his feet. He wasn't shouting, he wasn't waving papers. He was calm, he was methodical, he was lethal. He began to forensically dismantle the government's immigration record, fact by painful fact, number by damning number. Over 45,000 illegal arrivals this year alone, deportation flights canceled, hotels costing the taxpayer billions.
And then came the bombshell. Leaked documents, he claimed, showing secret negotiations with Brussels to rejoin European Union migration schemes. Every word landed like a precision strike. You could see Keir Starmer shifting in his seat, his face beginning to redden. A wave of profound discomfort washed over the Labour benches. This wasn't the usual political theater. This was a systematic takedown, backed by cold, hard evidence.
And then, in a heartbeat, everything detonated. Starmer didn't wait to be called by the Speaker. He didn't rise properly at the dispatch box. He simply erupted from his seat, a trembling finger jabbing across the chamber at Farage as he bellowed, "How dare you!" The chamber fell dead silent, Sophie. Utterly, deathly silent. This was no longer a political debate. This was raw, personal fury, uncaged in the mother of all parliaments.
And he just kept going, his voice cracking with rage, rising with every word. "You are a disgrace to this chamber," he screamed. Veteran MPs sat frozen, gobsmacked. On the Conservative benches, jaws were on the floor. His own backbenchers looked on in horror. The Speaker, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, repeatedly tried to restore order, commanding the Prime Minister to resume his seat.
But he was deaf to it, Sophie. He was beyond hearing. He was gesticulating wildly, his face beetroot red, spittle flying as he continued his tirade. The most powerful man in Britain was having a complete and total meltdown on live television for the entire nation to see. And that is when the Speaker made the decision that changed everything.
He invoked Standing Order Number 43. It is a parliamentary rule so archaic, so rarely used, that most MPs had forgotten it even existed. It gives the Speaker the absolute authority to remove any member who refuses to maintain the decorum of the House. Any member, including the Prime Minister. With a voice that cut through the chaos, Sir Lindsay Hoyle declared, "I am directing the Prime Minister to withdraw from the chamber immediately."
Just picture that scene, Sophie. The silence that followed was deafening. You could hear the clicking of cameras, the collective intake of breath from hundreds of people. Starmer stood there, his fury finally being replaced by sheer disbelief. And then, at the Speaker's command, two security officers began the long walk across the floor of the House towards the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
He didn't move at first. He looked around almost pleadingly, as if expecting someone to intervene, to save him. But his own MPs sat there, stunned into silence. Nobody came to his rescue. You could see his shoulders slump, the fight draining out of him as he began that walk of shame towards the exit, flanked by security. His political authority was evaporating with every single step.
But the coup de grace, the most devastating, killing blow, was yet to come. As Starmer was being escorted out, Nigel Farage spoke again. His voice was quiet, controlled, almost sorrowful. He said, "This is what happens when politicians cannot defend their failures. They lash out, they break down. But the people of Britain deserve leadership, not tantrums." The contrast was utterly brutal.
One man in total control, the other having lost it completely. Within minutes, the fallout began. Social media exploded. Instant polls conducted within hours showed Keir Starmer's personal approval ratings collapsing catastrophically. But the real damage was happening on the ground. We've spoken to our sources across the country. Local radio phone-ins were flooded with furious callers. A voter from Manchester told our producer, "He's meant to be our leader. If he can't control himself in Parliament, how on earth can he control the country?"
And it's not just domestic. The international reaction has been swift and humiliating. The Elysee Palace issued a terse, carefully worded statement expressing concern about political stability in the UK. The German Chancellor diplomatically suggested that steady leadership is vital for international partnerships. Britain, once the model of parliamentary democracy, has become a global laughingstock overnight. Our reputation for stability has been shredded on the global stage.
And within the Labour Party, we are told that utter panic has set in. Emergency meetings have been called. WhatsApp groups are in meltdown. Senior figures who publicly supported Keir Starmer are now privately questioning his fitness for office. Names like Angela Rayner, Wes Streeting, and Yvette Cooper are now being mentioned in hushed, urgent conversations all over Westminster.
But most worrying of all is the deafening silence from Downing Street. For 48 hours after the incident, not a single statement from Keir Starmer. No press conference, no interviews, nothing. The Prime Minister of Great Britain went to ground at the very moment leadership was most desperately needed, and that silence allowed others to completely dominate the narrative.
Which brings us to the political earthquake. Polling data released just an hour ago is breathtaking. The Labour Party has plummeted to 28%. But the truly seismic shift is for Reform UK, which has surged to 23%, putting them within the margin of error of becoming the official opposition. And when asked who would make the best Prime Minister, Nigel Farage has moved into second place, well ahead of Keir Starmer.
Let us be absolutely clear about what this means. Today did not just damage Keir Starmer's career. It has fundamentally altered the landscape of British politics forever. The old order is crumbling, and something new and frankly unpredictable is rising to take its place. The question is no longer if Starmer will survive. The question is what will be left of our political system in the aftermath.
And that is the monumental question facing all of us tonight. We are standing at the edge of a constitutional abyss, staring into an uncertain future. The game has changed, and all bets are off.
Now, we want to hear from you. Do you believe Keir Starmer can possibly recover from this catastrophic humiliation, or is his political career over? And could Nigel Farage, against all odds, actually be a serious contender for number 10?
Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This conversation is too important to end here. And if you want to follow every twist and turn of this unfolding political earthquake, make sure you are subscribed to Alert View. Hit that notification bell because what comes next will change everything, and you will not want to miss a single second of it. Stay with us.